Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to our party. Party. Happy Thursday. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our show. Thanks for tuning in this week. For first time viewers, hello, welcome to the Thaunties. It's Thauntie Thursday.
Ew.
This is what we do every Thursday. And we have a guest today. And baby, we about to get into it because they got glasses full of tequila. We got some Jack Honey. Yeah, so we are going in today. For those tuning in for the first time, you're probably wondering what's a Thauntie. Did you wonder what's a Thauntie?
So you know what? Whenever I saw you all on the B.O.B. Awards, I said, "What does that say?" And then someone told me Thaunties, and I said, "Oh, okay. I need to know. What does that mean?"
Yes. The Thauntie is a term of endearment for a mature, confident woman with a turn up in her spirit.
Yes.
We got. So, you know, it's like auntie, but just way more hotter.
A little bit hotter.
Way more hotter. I'm Sophista Ratchet, Thauntie Fifi.
I'm Mika J.
And I'm Foxy.
Oh.
And today, we have Louisville's own, honey, lover of herself, bad girl, business mogul, professional, educated, sorority girl. All things, honey. From Love That Belly, Miss Fairen Kia.
The one and only.
Hey! She's not playing. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
No, thank you for having me. I feel like this is like the celebrity spot here. So, you know, when the Thaunties were like, "Will you be on it?" I was like, "Yes! Oh my God, yes! You're picking me!"
Because your vibe is so dope.
You're dope.
Yes.
You are.
So while you're here with us, two things that I want to make sure that we accomplish. First of all, when we saw you at the Love Pop-Up that Princess T put on a month or so ago, your mission, I don't want to say elevator speech, but your brand is on point. So I want to make sure we talk about your branding. And two, baby, we want to get into all this self-love that you give and that you ooze.
Okay, it's Love Month, so let's get into it.
Yeah. So tell the people who you are, honey.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Fairen Kia. I am the founder and CEO of Love That Belly. It's the premier body positive organization right here in the city of Louisville, committed to the representation of fat and large bodies in multimedia form. So we do fashion, film, photography, and most recently, we're going to get into print as well.
Ooh.
That's
Yes. Put me in a picture.
Like it.
Come on. So we're working on our printed magazine and books.
Okay, that's amazing.
So really, it's all about big bodies doing big shit.
Okay.
You feel me?
I like it.
So how did you land there?
Oh, that's such a good story. I'm glad you all brought that up. So Love That Belly actually started as just a hashtag. So what I did is I was hashtagging my pictures on social media with the literal hashtag Love That Belly. And it was my way of reclaiming my body for myself. It was my way of saying that society and my family, and then at that time, I was in an abusive relationship, and my partner at the time felt the need to constantly like demean me and talk down on me and my body because my body was changing. As women, we know our bodies change. You know, like what you look like at 12, you're not going to look like that at 22. What you look like at 35, you're not going to look like that at 50. Like our bodies just are constantly changing. And sometimes what you look like at 12, you're not going to look like at 13. So our bodies are, you know, women have a lot of different body things we experience. We have like body issues, we have health issues, all of these things.
The hormones.
And okay.
It's
and then
a
the
thing.
food that we eat, you know, like the food that's like given to us, you know, in this country. And so like our bodies just are constantly going through changing motions. And so I was at a point in my life where my body was changing very drastically. I had 3 jobs, I was in a really bad relationship, and I was getting my master's degree. So it was just like my whole, you know, everything. And I wasn't taking care of myself at all because I was just so focused on like, I was just very much in this like, go get everything done kind of mode.
Tunnel vision.
You know? And so I was not self-loving and I was not self-caring. And then it didn't help that I had a partner who also could not pour into me too. And so I kind of sat with myself about the experience that I was having. Eventually, thank the Lord, I was able to graduate, and then I was able to only have, I got to go down to just having 2 jobs. One I could maintain and manage better, and the other one was my actual career. So then I kind of got to take a step back and say, the things that this person was saying to me, those were not my truth.
Yeah.
Those are the things that they were projecting on me
Right.
based off how they felt about themselves. I loved myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family that, yes, they didn't necessarily know how to pour into me all the time, but they still loved me unconditionally.
Yeah.
So maybe they said things, like, oh, well, you shouldn't eat that or you shouldn't do that, with the, with the knowledge of not knowing what they were saying and how it could affect me at that time. But I loved myself. And so being in this relationship and having this person tell me all of these things that were so wrong about me, I did start to internalize those things.
Yeah.
And you do. That's not just women, but I think that's anyone.
People.
When you are constantly
Yeah.
being berated like that, you are going to start internalizing that.
And so here you are with Love Thy Belly. So it started with a hashtag.
It did. And then
how did it just take
people
off?
just started, they would see my hashtags, my photos. I was very public about what my experience was. I started going to therapy, and I was very public about what therapy had been teaching me and the things that I was learning and how I was growing in that process of learning myself and relearning myself. And then people started telling me their stories. And people started using Love That Belly for themselves. And it became this battle cry for everybody, not just me. I remember I put on my first crop top for the first time. My mom would be like, oh, why are you wearing those half shirts? And I didn't know at the time that the reason why I was wearing that is because people told me that because my body looked a certain way that I couldn't do that.
Right.
Like people, a lot of times they'll tell big girls, don't wear stripes, don't wear big prints, don't wear this, don't wear that. And for me, it was my way of saying, well, can we cuss on the show?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Be who you are, boo.
It was literally my way of saying fuck you to everybody.
Yeah.
You have a problem with the way I look, not me. So I'm gonna wear the tight skirts. I'm gonna wear the short shorts. I'm gonna wear the crop tops. I'm gonna wear the tight dresses because for me, that's what makes me feel good. That's what makes me feel liberated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Because even I think that people have to realize that it doesn't matter what size you are. A lot of people still just aren't comfortable in their bodies. Like, because I still picture me as this before kids person, and sometimes I look in the mirror and be like, yeah, this is not the look for you.
No, you do have those, like, for real. You're like, think about how many times when you're about to go out, you're going with your girls and you're getting ready and you're like, oh, this outfit. Oh, like you change your clothes 15 times.
Yes.
So what I did to counteract that is whatever the first outfit I put on, I just fucking walked out the house in that outfit.
Yeah, because they gonna get whatever I give.
You're going to get whatever body is bodying in whatever it is that I'm wearing.
Exactly.
And more than likely, whatever these thought processes are that I'm having, they're not even my thoughts. Those are these intrusive thoughts that are coming from like.
What do you think people are gonna say? What are they gonna say if they see this? What are they gonna say when they see that? Yeah.
And like to think of it, nobody really even cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody does care.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I always had in my head like, okay, I'm a big girl. If I'm going out to eat, I can't eat this. I can't. Like convincing myself that people are gonna judge me for what I eat just because of what I look like. Baby, nobody cares.
No.
They're ordering their food. They are not looking at what I'm eating. They're not thinking about me at all. People are actually very selfish. People are very naturally selfish and self-centered. So people don't actually think about what anybody else is doing.
Exactly.
So
But you convince
true.
yourself
Yes, but
that
you
they
do.
do.
Yeah, you
like
do.
on your day-to-day
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you do.
and I do think there are some people, but who cares about them? Because they do need to focus more on
Because
themselves.
you do gotta
Yeah.
know that people who are just worried about what somebody else is
Aren't
eating while you're
happy.
out to eat.
Yeah.
Like,
Because do you ever? Now I'll tell you this. Now I do watch plates because I'd be like, "Ooh, that look good."
But you're thinking about
reverse back to what you're looking at it because you're thinking about what you can order.
Yes.
not what
I
you're
was
ordering.
like, dang, that was good. I think I want that. Yeah, but no, you're right. People aren't really looking. I've never been at the restaurant and like, dang, look at them. No, who's
You don't
doing
do that.
But
Nobody
you know
does
what?
that.
If you have looked at a plate, at a table that has a lot of food on it, you're not looking at them like, oh, they eating so much food. You're like, dang, they spend a lot of money.
I know that real about to be
Because guess what? You can order 1,000 things. You could just be nibbling off of it.
Right.
That's what Parker does.
She does.
In this economy, an egg is $7. So I mean, really, at this point, people buying whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So along your entrepreneurial journey,
Yes.
what have you learned? What are some lessons that you figured out?
Get a business accountant. Immediately.
Yeah.
Get that first. Get the business accountant first. And then go from there. You know, because like, yes, it is very important that you prioritize your ideas and your intellectual properties, making sure that you're the only person who can do those things with what you have, right? Love That Belly technically as a hashtag started in 2018, but then as I grew into a business, that happened in 2019. And what I wish I would have known at the time is don't put your name on anything, don't do any paperwork until you have all of these other things in place.
Okay.
So getting an accountant, that is so beneficial. Getting a financial advisor, that is so beneficial to like you growing as an entrepreneur and growing in your business. And that's not to say that like your ideas are not still important and still valuable. They are, they very much are. And you know, it is kind of scary, right? Like I put myself out there very, you know, on this public social media platform. Like what if somebody steals my ideas or steals my content? And sadly, that's gonna happen regardless of what you have. But so Uncle Sam gonna come after your pockets. You know, get the people in place who know what they're doing.
Right.
You know, like a lot of times, I consider myself a creative because I'm an author, a writer, and I create and curate a lot of experiences and art as well. And so like I kind of get in my creative head of let me just create, but when you're running a business, it can't just be about creation. It has to be about stability and security and knowing what that is and what that looks like too.
Yeah.
That was great advice.
It is. Yeah.
That is really good. So, so starting in 2019 up until now. So, what are some cool things that you've done with Love That Belly?
Oh my God, Love That Belly. We've been everywhere. Oh, we've gotten to travel.
What's up?
Yeah, we've gotten to get paid to travel.
Ooh,
Now that's the move.
Okay, you know they told your girl to
Flew you out.
Flew.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll pay for you to come speak, do your thing. Just make sure that you have the vibe, you know, bring the vibe, bring the energy that you have. You know, just be myself. So the most beautiful thing about this experience is that everything that I get to do, I literally get to just be myself. My demographic is ages 3 years old to 75 years old so far.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So that's a wide range. Yeah.
So I've gotten to do everything from teaching kids how to just advocate for themselves and say things, you know, teaching kids about affirmations. I love myself. I'm smart. I'm beautiful. You know, I'm creative, teaching kids like that. And then talking to people who are, you know, older, 75 and above, talking about like experiencing your life for you. A lot of times, especially as women, we have all of these things that we have to pour into other people, right? Like if you have kids or you have a job or you have your family, you know, like maybe you take care of like your mom and your cousins, you know, whatever. Everything you do is pouring into everyone but yourself.
Yep.
And so when you get to be the ages of 75 and older, then you think about how your life, you've just spent so much of your time pouring into everybody else. And now this is the first time in your life that you get to just start to pour into yourself.
Yeah.
So being able to teach people like self-love from that level,
Yeah.
but then also self-love from just such a young, like, just be okay with who you are in whatever way you show up as.
I think the affirmations that young is pretty dope because I didn't have that. Like I didn't experience that growing up, but I think that would probably deter a lot of just
depression.
yes, like
Anxiety.
if you just loved yourself,
Self-hate.
yes, that part.
Yes.
Even mass shootings and
Insecurities.
stuff. Like if you loved yourself, you're not gonna. Your
Harm others.
focus is not to go harm people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's pretty dope. I love
One
that.
thing I make sure that my little kids always say is my voice matters and I'm important. And so then, you know, it's teaching them to speak for themselves and advocate for themselves, but also if someone else is speaking, you know, don't talk over them. Let them share what they have to share, even if you disagree with it. Let them share what they have to share. And so a lot of times if they talk over each other, I'll say, excuse me, did you hear your friend talking? And then they'll say, oh, I'm sorry. And they'll look at their friend and say, I'm sorry, your voice matters. You are important.
Oh, that is amazing. Yes, I love
And
that.
I'm 3 years old, right? Because if you give kids the language, you might have to explain things a little bit more, you know, and maybe they are just repeating something that I said to them. So maybe they don't naturally understand what it means, but they're still saying these things. And by 5 and 6, then there's like, oh, when Miss Fairen said that, she was meaning that I can say what I need to say for me and still respect what other people are saying.
Yeah. And so, you know, when I was seeing, I looked at your Instagram, because I mean, you don't, you're scantily clad. You don't mind showing the belly and the girls.
Because one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to step in and step out.
Every time. So how do you balance Fairen Kia, Love That Belly, and your professional career?
I make sure that people who are in higher positions of power don't have access to that. Because it's not that what I do outside.
How do you make
block
sure that?
them. Block them as soon as I get blocked. Block, because I know your name, so block, because you don't need access to that part of my life.
Yeah.
That part of my life is for me and my community. And what I do in my professional realm, that's my community in that realm, and I get to have this. A lot of times women, we're always convinced that we have to be this or that.
Yeah.
And that's not how that works. No one else has to be this or that. Men can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
If men want to do whatever they can do whatever. And no one's going to say anything.
That's
And
true.
so women get to have that same power of, I get to be this multifaceted person.
Yeah.
I can twerk and still have a degree.
Okay.
Amen.
Because that's part
Baby, I got 5 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 5 degrees. I can drop down like Meg. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
So creating space for me to exist in all of my multifaceted ways. I'm a fat Black queer woman, so I have a lot of different identities. I have my professional role, that I play, but also, like I said, I do work with babies all the time, and parents will still always, I'm sure the parents find my Instagram all the time, but they never focus on that. They focus on what it is I'm pouring into their kids.
Exactly. Which is the most important, because that's the role I play in your kids' life.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your 6-year-old's definitely not going to look me up on Instagram. They're just not going to. They shouldn't have an Instagram. They're
true.
6. Okay, let's make sure.
Well, I'm glad that you how you identified, because I have a question about, why do you identify yourself as queer? What makes you queer?
Yeah, so I've dated the variety of people. I only dated men at, dating such an odd term.
So loose.
I had interactions with only men.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
Okay.
2016 was actually when I dated the first woman I'd ever dated. It was such an interesting thing for me, because at that time, I don't know how old I was, and somebody else do the math. I'll be 33 this year, so 2016, y'all can do the math. So the first woman I ever dated, I just remember saying to myself, oh, she's fine as hell. And I never thought, I was never this person who said, I'll never date a woman. That's not, it just never crossed my mind.
Right.
I just never thought about it at all.
Did you have a boyfriend at the time?
No, was I with a man? Probably.
I'm sure.
But I've never had a boyfriend. I've just had men in my life.
Oh,
who
yeah?
played their role.
Oh, okay.
They played their roles well.
Yeah.
I told them what I liked, and they provided those things.
Okay.
That's the way it should work.
Okay.
And so for me, queer became this umbrella term, because I liked men, I liked women, and then I also found that I was also interested in trans people and non-binary people and gender non-conforming people, meaning people who don't necessarily identify with being a man or a woman. They live outside of the gender binary, so they may
So you're just
they
open.
pronouns. Yes.
You're just free.
A free spirit, the
Free,
actual indigo child,
Yeah.
free spirit. I stress my family out.
How accepting are they? Because
She just said they stressed.
So I'm actually from Frankfort, Kentucky.
Okay.
And
They real stressed.
They
right?
super duper
And
stressed.
my family is from this teeny tiny town called Millville, which is right outside of Frankfort. And my grandfather built the church and everything. Everybody, they were deacons in the choir. My family be stressed, honey, okay? But I will say
Sure
that.
they are. My dad's a pastor. I know how
Fox might be stressed right now.
She just keeps blowing out.
My aunt was actually
stressed.
My aunt was married to a pastor, actually. So, I dated a pastor too. So I just say, I've done a lot of things in life.
Well,
But I tell you, I told you I've lived a life.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you gotta live.
So
You gotta live.
my family is there. I love them. We are a great close knit family. My entire life, we're the family gets together on Sundays, big family. I'm talking great aunts, uncles, great cousins, niece, everybody.
Everybody's there.
We go to, at the time when my grandmother was alive, we would go to my grandmother's house and then change to my nana's house. And so my family's very close knit. They just don't ask questions. They let me tell them.
Yeah.
They let me tell them what I want to tell them and the times that I want to tell them.
Yeah.
And then all they say is, okay.
Yeah.
And whatever they say behind my back,
Right.
I don't know. But there's never been a time where my family has ever chastised me or demeaned me or
Good.
any type of way.
Good.
They
That's
just
amazing.
always loved me, and don't even say that like, well, we love everything about you. We love anything that you do.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been very, very blessed to have the type of supportive family that I have.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's a great
Absolutely.
support system.
Yeah.
So what's the funnest? Which one? Which one out of the group that you named do you like the most?
I'm curious too. I like them all, but what do I prefer?
And you know what? I actually don't have a preference necessarily.
Yeah.
The most fun have definitely been the queer relationships that I've been in. I think when you identify as queer and exist in like the queer realm, you don't necessarily have the same constraints that you have in the heteronormative world. Of like when a lot of times when you have a man and a woman, there's these gender roles that everyone feels
Yeah.
like they have to kind of subscribe to.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to exist outside of that in a lot of different ways, right? I've played different roles in all of my relationships where sometimes maybe I have more masculine dominant traits, and sometimes I get to exist more in my femininity of letting like whoever I'm with at the time kind of like take on the more dominant roles in the situation. But I'm also very much a boss bitch, okay? So I'm a very independent woman. And so it's really hard to take care of me or to do things for me, because if you're not gonna do it the way I want you to do it, then I'm just gonna do it myself, or I'm gonna find somebody else to do
That's
it.
a Virgo in you. It's got nothing to do with the Q. It's all about being a Virgo.
It is a Virgo.
Yeah.
Well, what's your side?
I'm a Cancer.
Body build, yeah, like a dancer.
I'm a Gemini.
Jesus.
Don't do
So
that.
we got water, air, earth, and fire.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like this.
Elements.
Yeah, very balanced
elements.
energy.
Yes.
Oh, we know you're a Leo.
Yeah.
I mean, if y'all couldn't tell. So yeah, I've had fun. One thing I will say is, because I've been big my entire life, right? And dating as a big girl can have a lot of different nuances that not necessarily like what we call outside of like the plus size realm, we call them straight size. So those are usually like the sizes that are more societally acceptable. You know, maybe like you can go to any store and find your clothes. Kind of like societally acceptable body type.
Yeah.
I never want big girls and big body people to ever feel like you can't have everything you want. Everybody that I've ever dated at any point in time has offered me the fucking world.
I know it.
Because I demand it.
And guess what you give?
You
Okay.
do. You really do. You give that energy. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
World domination only.
That's it. Nothing less.
But I always want big folks to know, like, you being who you are and standing in who you are,
Yeah.
that's what makes people want to give that to you.
Yeah.
Because you are demanding. If you're going to come to me, I've had people who've flown me out, taken me on vacations, bought me bags, bought me clothes, bought me shoes, paid my bills. I've had all of that.
Yeah. Was it the men or the women?
The women, the trans, gender non-conforming people. Well, I told you. Well, the men did they role though, right?
Okay.
Most of my interactions with men have definitely been from more of a sexual standpoint.
Okay, I figured
more
that.
of like
Got you.
but they'll provide that, okay? They will provide all of my pleasured needs, and I don't never got to do nothing I don't want to do, ever, because there are things I do not do.
There you go.
And I'll never compromise that. And they don't ever ask. You said, like, what?
Girl, she's crazy. You heard
How
me.
much are we getting into? We getting
Whatever
into
you
it?
open to.
Okay, well, one thing about Fairen Kia, I'm not sucking dick. It's not happening. It's not happening. But that's me. Everybody likes what they like. And I will never yuck anybody's yum. I will never tell anybody not to like what they like. But for me and mine over here, that is not something I enjoy. And so the men that I've had in my life, it's not something that they've ever requested from me, because I let them know up front, I'm not doing that.
Well,
Yeah.
And if you put it near me, we're both gonna have an issue because I'm not doing that.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, that's your
And they-
But that's not to say that like men, obviously men love to offer everything, right? Like they talk a lot of big game, and I'm sure they can back it up too. And that's not to say that like I haven't had men say, "Oh my God, I'll do all of these things for you, I'll take it." But at the time in my life, that wasn't something that I was interested in.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted you for what I wanted you for,
Yeah.
and thank
Yeah.
you so much for the role that you played. And you might continue to play that, if
Yeah.
I allow that. And that's something that I'm very big on, is especially like existing in the body that I exist in, taking back your own sexual power for yourself. Whatever that means for you, standing in that for you. So what do you like? What is pleasure for you? And then making sure that you're communicating, like, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy, this is what I need, and this is how my desires are going to be met. And if somebody's not meeting your desires, they gotta go.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Pleasure.
But likewise,
happiness.
so like if you're not meeting theirs, then
I gotta go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Nobody's ever told me to go, but
right. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah, no, they
mutually.
Yeah.
mutually.
Compromise. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Like-
Well, one thing we usually do after we had some cocktails is we just drop it like a
we've had some cocktails.
So we've had cocktails, and we've already into the hot topics. But I really wanted to bring up the topic of body image, which we're already kind of on as it relates to being in a relationship and even just societal standards. Everybody, you got your BBLs versus your naturals. You got your your slim thick. You got your almost want to be shredded, and so everybody is just different. It seems to be you can't get it right.
Oh,
so how do you feel when somebody say, "Oh, you're so pretty for a big girl"?
Ugh.
You like that?
Yes, it's so annoying. Like, that's like saying you're pretty for a dark skin. Like, or you're pretty. And that's it. Just leave it at that.
That's it.
Leave it at that, because everything about me, I would be pretty if I was thin as hell.
Yeah.
I would be pretty if I was bigger than I am now. Nothing. I'm always gonna be pretty because I said I was pretty. My mother told me I was pretty. My father, like, I've always been pretty. I was
Right.
born pretty, so I'm always gonna be pretty. I'm gonna die pretty. And you saying that I'm pretty for a big girl, that has everything to do with you and nothing to do with me.
Your opinion.
I love
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
And when I was younger, I did think that was like this like huge oh, okay, because I'm big, then that means I'm not pretty. No. When I was younger, I did think that. I absolutely did. Not in younger, I mean, like, even in my 20s, I thought that I couldn't be pretty, or I couldn't be attractive, or I couldn't be desirable because I was big. But that had nothing to do with me and everything to do with anybody else's opinions, their own projections, what they thought, what their idea of pretty or beauty is. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
That's right.
So for me, I decided that it didn't matter how I was showing up. I was always going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that I know that your platform is for big girls to love their bodies, but I think that your platform should be for any girl to love their body, because we all deal with these feelings that we have about our bodies.
Insecurities.
Yes, and I think that don't just limit yourself to big girls. I think that you should include little girls.
I'm actually glad you brought that up.
Just do it for the girl.
Just do it for women.
So I wrote
period.
this book, right? Dear Fat Girls, When Love Wasn't Enough. And this was about my experience with my relationship, with my abusive relationship that I was in. However, when I wrote this book and I was going around to different events and showing it and talking about it on different shows, there were women who don't identify as fat or don't use that as a term to identify themselves as, who bought my book, who said that this was a book that they needed. A lot of times it was women who had babies and so their bodies have changed, or people who just have body insecurity issues. Because I've been doing this fat positive work for a little over 15 years.
Fat positive, I love it. Did you come up with that?
No, it's not. No, that already exists. But so I didn't know, though, everyone struggles with body images.
Yes.
And I didn't. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I did not know that when I first started doing this work. You're right, because we're convinced that you have to look this way,
Yeah.
and that's the standard of beauty.
And the skinny girls, they got it made. They don't have to worry about it. No.
And that's what
because
you
they
convince
still feel
yourself
like they're
of.
not enough.
And women are always, and not even just women, actually, like people, femme presenting bodies, so women who like present in a more feminine way, or bodies who present in a more feminine way. We hold so much because everyone tells us we're not good enough. Everybody.
Yeah.
You're too thin.
And even if
You're
they
too
don't
skinny.
say it, they
You're too big.
subliminally
Your
say
boobs
it.
are saggy. You have stretch marks. So
Yes.
it's like it never matters what you show up as. There's been something or someone or a magazine or something you've heard or read that has somehow told you that something about your body is wrong, and you've internalized that. And I didn't realize that at first. I thought that it was just, I thought that it was just big girls. But then I realized people were buying this book who are not, and they said that this book has helped them so much, because what it is a book of affirmations and affirming bodies. So it does say, Dear Fat Girls, But I've realized that people just don't, they kind of in their heads take out the word fat and just think it as dear girls.
Dear girl.
Or dear me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what the point of it was, to give a platform to people whose bodies are always misrepresented, right? Because if you think about shows and movies and everything like that, a lot of times fat girls are the ones who don't get to have a love interest.
Or have to
they're
wear
the
the church clothes. Why
You
do they
know,
always put them
why
in
put-
church clothes, church suits?
And the big old ruffly,
Yeah,
no, girl,
the
put me in a
boobies.
bodycon
Yeah,
dress. We want to
okay.
see the curves.
Okay. Yeah.
We want to see it all.
Could you read us an excerpt?
Absolutely. I can. All right. To each and every one of you fat girls that were told you were lesser than, not good enough, those whom were used, abandoned, shamed, ignored, outright disrespected, abused, and every trauma you've endured in between. To my fat girls who have survived and are surviving depression and anxiety. To my fat girl who has fought harder and harder every day against a world that sees your fat as unnatural. Remember, you're human. Those around you may forget, but you don't have to.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. And so I feel like a lot of times, Black women specifically and women of color specifically, we get a lot of different things thrown at us. And so people feel like because we're a woman of color, that we can just take everything, right? Like they don't see our femininity, they don't see our womanhood, they don't see our softness, our gentleness. They see us having to handle things all the time. So then that means that they can say anything to
We're
us.
so strong.
You know?
Yeah.
That
And,
part.
oh my God, that's so awful. That- you know, it takes away like the humanness of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the point of the book is to say to people, you know, everyone around you can forget that you're human, right? Because they're not you. But you don't have to forget that.
Yeah.
You get to feel all of the things that you feel. If you are sad, you get to
Yeah.
be sad. When you need to be vulnerable, you can be vulnerable. When you need to be soft, you get to be soft. And you have to find spaces in which people are cultivating the ability for you to be vulnerable in that space without having to put on this armor and be this person who has to just handle everything. Because sometimes we're tired.
We're tired.
Tired.
Sad.
Exhausted.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, it's sadly, but Black women literally carry the world on our shoulders.
It's so true.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
And if you don't have community, like I love the community you all have built with each other.
Yeah.
But
Thank
it's
you.
because you have each other to support and encourage one another and inspire one another.
Don't let it fool you.
Oh, no.
Our group sex is very mean. Get your fat ass up. Why would you eat that fat ass chicken? You gonna get your fat ass out and walk.
You knew you was fat. All right.
That was just this week.
It is, yeah, it's very not supportive.
But see, that's the thing though. We can use the word fat, but
Yes,
the word
exactly.
fat, okay, I am. Because one thing, you know, I told you I work with kids, right? And so kids will always say to me, well, why are you so fat? And then I always say, well, because I make a lot of money.
I can eat what you can't. Filling it on every day, baby.
So that's what I work with. I work with girls a lot too. And so one thing that I do teach them is when someone is saying that word to you, to use it against you, you don't have to let it be a word that harms
Yeah.
you. You don't have to be. It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be a word that
Yeah.
makes you feel bad about yourself.
That's right.
You can say, okay, well, if I'm fat, then guess what's on my pockets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Boom.
You know? And it's because a lot of times what people will do is they'll take words to harm you. Again, I told you I was in an abusive relationship. And so that was the word that was used against me all the time.
Well, because if they can use something against you and keep you down, then they make you stay.
Yeah.
Because
No,
you
it
lucky
is.
to have me. How about that?
Okay?
Where's that person at
So
now?
awful.
We said, where they
Where's
at
that
now?
person looking at you sitting right now?
You know, and so since we broke up in 2019, actually.
Oh wow.
And so, you know, for them, I've done nothing but been up since.
You had to shake that.
Hey, cause God,
That's the way.
Podcast after podcast,
Yeah.
book,
Yeah.
getting flown out, speaking engagement, being here, being there. And, you know, it was actually that the year that we broke up, I did so many things in that year. And everybody, you know, social media, you're sharing, reposting, da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know, you blocked me, but baby, I know.
You see me.
you see,
I know.
you see.
Me, money, more. Yeah. Because you can't, the thing is, you can try as you might. Again, I'm from Frankfurt. I haven't lived in Louisville my whole life. I've been here since 2009, but I've been turning pages since 2009 while I've been in Louisville, Kentucky.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I think about my exes all the time. I've had plenty. Okay, plenty's not a good word.
It is what it is.
The ones that lost out, because I don't ever say anybody fumbled me. I say the universe protected me from them.
Yeah.
And I think about how, at the end of the day, you lost out because I am the most supportive person, right? I support my family, I support my friends. And so when you're someone who I'm dating, you're my partner, I'm always going to level up, regardless of what you're doing. Now, you can either come level up with me, or baby, I'm going to just keep going. And if you down there, I did my part. You just going to have to stay. And I'm sure they living their life. They doing whatever they need to do. Like everybody has their things, but you'll never be on my level.
Yeah.
Ever. Because you're not me, you're not with me. And whoever you're with, y'all gonna live y'all's life the way y'all live y'all's life. But once again, none of you will ever be on my level. You can't touch me. Okay. Because I was always destined for greatness.
Boom.
Yes, it's in you. It can't be nothing else.
I know you probably at home mad.
Mad, sad, and sorry.
Big mad.
She's the best.
Poor Fairen Kia's exes. I always think about that man who Beyonce was with when she was like real young. And she got with Jay-Z.
No.
That's what I feel like because I'm Beyonce done.
Of course. So are you feeling the country album?
Oh my, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a country girl.
Yeah.
Born and raised in the country. So that Texas Hold'em.
I'm going to my first country concert on Friday.
Where you going?
Excited.
Who you want to see? For real?
Oh.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
It's
she's
gonna
from
be
the
a good
country
time.
too.
Yeah, I am from Russellville.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
was
a
feeling
city
it
girl
too.
from the country.
Yeah, that's what the sophistication is.
Yes.
You already know. Yeah.
Y'all listen to the country song?
The Texas Hold'em? Yeah, it's cool.
Uh-oh.
I'm not country.
16 characters.
Y'all don't like country music at all?
I like a little. Kenny Chesney.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're real country.
You pulled him out.
90s country. Just bad.
I like Darius Rucker.
That was Toby Keith.
Yeah, that was Toby
One of
Keith.
them.
I was gonna say I didn't.
Are you gonna killing somebody?
Was one of them somebody straight?
George Strait.
Strait. I like
Yeah.
George Strait.
Yeah. You know the song that I just heard? Well, it's been on kind of TikTok, and I didn't pay attention. And so I was out Friday night, and a band played it. Brooks and Dunn's Neon Moon. Like, that is such a bop. I can't stop playing it.
Oh, I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I like Carrie Underwood too.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
a good
her.
karaoke
Yeah,
song.
I like her.
I'm definitely gonna dig my key into the side of somebody's. Don't play with me.
Oh, so
Play
okay,
somebody else.
so keep it pin right here. Okay, so what we do, we always do an Ask a Thauntie. We're usually a guest or somebody will ask us a question. Today we're gonna put you in the hot seat.
Ooh.
And since you said that, what is the craziest thing you ever done to somebody?
To somebody? What? I missed. What did she say?
She said key in somebody's car.
Oh, you did?
No,
I bust the windows out your car.
Hey.
All right. Yes.
Is that what you did?
No. Generally, destroying property is just not my thing. It's not.
But you gotta pay for it.
You feel me? And nobody's getting my money.
Yeah, you know what I done as in? I sliced my husband's tires. Like, I was married to him. Like, I had to replace them. Like,
Yeah, because
that
y'all was married.
Idiot.
stupid.
You win on that.
Shit. Like, you
Well, really,
mad.
insurance
Like,
should replace them, though.
I didn't know that then.
Yeah, insurance will replace them unless you do 3 tires. If you do 3 tires, insurance will not replace them.
Wait a
gotta do
minute,
all
because
4?
why do you know that?
Now, I will say, I roll with a lot of folks. I don't ever judge nobody for any lifestyle they live.
So you got do
everybody-
all 4. Is what you saying?
You gotta do 3.
You gotta do
all
3.
four.
You can't do all
cannot do
4.
You gotta do 3. Okay, so go back and tell us what the pettiest thing you've done.
Petty. I like petty more.
Okay,
I definitely like
petty.
petty because that is more or less my style. I'm more of a vengeful, petty kind of person. Definitely have locked somebody out of the room before, hidden the car keys, taken the car keys. For sure, you're not getting nowhere without me, cause how you gonna get there?
Yeah.
That's not really bad.
She's that petty.
You okay with that?
That's a petty.
Yeah,
side
that
of it,
wasn't
for
bad.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
not that bad.
Yeah, I try my best because I do struggle. To be honest, I do struggle with my anger. And more or less because, and if there might be some other earth signs that can understand it, usually I let things build up to a point, right? So like I've already checked you once, I've already checked you twice, you know, even the third time I give you a little grace. But after that third time, I don't know, something about that third time, because really I didn't even want to repeat myself the second time.
Yeah.
I didn't. You should have did it the first fucking time that I said it.
Yeah.
So by that third time, I'm probably ready to go up style. I am ready to go upside your head.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I've realized that I have to remove myself from a situation. So I do have to physically remove myself from the person, remove myself from the space.
And that's what you call that growth.
You hear me? Do you hear me? That's
I already
growth.
know. Honey. I know that's growth.
Because I don't like what I can get to. I don't like where I can and what I can become once someone has pushed me to a certain level. And I'm a very respectful person. I always immediately give respect until you show me that you no longer deserve my respect. And then once I no longer respect you, then it's up. It's up. I mean, I don't know. And so what I like to do is I like to be cognizant and aware. And I've been in therapy since 2019. So I am a very self-aware person. But sometimes I just want to see what happens. You know, sometimes
I just want to see.
I do things with a plot twist. Let's see where this is gonna go.
So on the flip side, do you want to be married?
I do. I want marriage. I want children, and that's not something.
Does it matter which?
Yeah,
That's who it is.
I don't have a preference.
Oh,
I do want a provider, and so whatever that looks like. You know, and this is the thing. I want a provider because I'm a nurturer.
Yeah.
I want a provider because I'm a healer.
Okay,
You
so
know,
one more
and so-
question.
Wait a minute, what?
So,
You thought I didn't hear you? I did.
in your marriage, do you want to be monogamous or do you want to have freedom?
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
I've operated in both, being not married. I've been in both monogamous and non-monogamous relationships.
polys?
Well, I've never identified as poly, but I've identified as non-monogamous. So for me, the difference was the term that I used.
I think the difference is that everybody knows and is aware.
Well,
Like an open relationship.
sometimes in poly relationships it doesn't work that way either. So a lot of times poly relationships are very specific to those people in that relationship.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like poly
So,
is
some
like
people like
a relationship
some
with
poly
everyone.
relationships, They do know about each other. Some poly relationships they don't know about.
So what
Like,
happens?
wait, they don't?
They know that someone's dating, but they don't necessarily all know each other. They don't all necessarily
So
date each other.
I thought that poly meant that everybody was involved. Like, I mean the
Polyamorous.
Yeah, well, I mean like everybody knows. Like the men don't have to be together, but like it's
You know, in
women.
the same house.
Yeah.
So, but it's all very specific to the people involved in the relationship. But I will say that's what it has grown into being, right? Because language evolves over
Yeah.
time, and especially like relationships.
Yeah.
Those things are all very like specific to those people. So for me, I believe that I would like a relationship in which we are monogamous, but we leave the opportunity to have those conversations. I like to be able to say, hey, do you feel like you're satisfied within this relationship? Do you feel like operating in monogamy is what we both want? I like the freedom of having that conversation and not feeling like we can't have that conversation.
Okay.
But can you share though? You just want to be shared. You don't want to share.
I realized very recently that I'm actually a very jealous person.
So am I.
It was
said,
well,
"So
of course you are, Gemini.
Yeah.
Jealous on Thursday, but who knows what happens on Friday?
Right. Right.
F you on Friday. That's
You
what
know,
happens on
But I don't
Friday.
share my men. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't do well with that.
I don't think I like the sharing piece.
Yeah.
I've learned I'm jealous. And I've also learned that whatever my face is saying is not what I think it's saying. In my head, I've been having poker face my whole life. Apparently, no. If I am disgusted by something, someone knows that. But I'm like, oh, I thought that I was very much giving like, very much giving neutral, very much giving, I don't care what's happening. No, it's very much giving Fairen hates what's happening and fix it now. Didn't know that about me. So, no, I don't think I like to share, but I think that if whoever I'm with, if this is a conversation that we need to have, if they're saying, hey, you know, like, I want this, I would like to be able to say, so what is it that you're needing from me?
Yeah.
You know, what is,
Yeah.
like, do you need something from me or do you actually need something from somebody else?
Yeah.
And then, you know, having that opportunity to kind of talk about it and to figure out what can we do as partners? Because I'm big on, if we are deciding to be a partnership, if we are deciding to work together, then that means we're going to attack everything together. So whatever the issue, problem, we are deciding what that looks like, and we are deciding how to address that together. I'm very big on that. But yeah, I have a lot of jealousy, so.
Yeah, and it seems like you would probably just fall in love with a person. Like, you're not like looking for anything specific, but a person. Older, younger, like what's your...
I've dated all. I've dated a gambit. I've dated people who are a couple of years, now, by more or less like 3 years. I've never really dated anybody younger than, about 3 years younger than me. And I've dated people who are about 3 to 5 years older than me too.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily
you don't really have
I don't have an age
range.
preference.
You're just out here.
She's a free spirit.
I'm a free. I love to have fun. I just think life should be pleasurable in all facets. And I'm big on self-pleasure too. So like, I believe everything should be pleasurable about life. You know, like, I'm big on indulgence too.
Yes.
So like, if I want something, I'm gonna get it. And whatever that means, like whatever I have to do to get it, I'm gonna work for it, but I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
If I want a bag, I'm gonna get that bag. If I want some shoes, I'm gonna get that shoe. If I wanna go on a trip, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get on that trip. If I want cake, I'm gonna eat it. If it's midnight and I'm thinking like, ooh, I want some White Castle, and I'm gonna go get it. I never deny myself anything in life because baby, I don't know. I might not wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So why do I say, like, why do I tell me no?
Can I just tell you something? I feel like she's really like you could have been her at 33 without kids.
You said without kids?
Without kids, like really, everything she keeps saying, I'm like, oh my God, I so can see Fee as this
And that's what I
person.
told her. I was like, I feel like we're 10 twin spirits. We're the same
That's
person.
funny.
Where have you been? For real, like, think about all the times you've gone through life telling yourself no. Why did you do that? Everybody's gonna tell you no about something at some point in time. But why would you ever tell you no?
Yeah.
Because like, one thing about money is very fleeting. But money will always come back if you want it to.
Yeah.
So I decided to tell myself, well, money is attracted to me. Money loves me. Money wants to be with me. Money wants to spend time with me. Money wants to be around me.
Yes.
Right? And so if I feel like that about money, I can also feel like that about love. Love wants to be with me.
I know, that's an affirmation. This is so important. The
But you just can't
affirmations.
say it. You have to believe it.
Yeah, you gotta believe
And
it.
sometimes you have to keep saying stuff until you believe it.
Yeah.
Until you believe it.
I
Say
know,
it till you believe
that's,
it.
yeah.
Because I had to tell myself every single day, I love my body. Until I finally realized the only reason why I didn't love my body is because other people told me I shouldn't have it.
So let me ask you, when you started Love My Belly, did you love your belly?
I did not at all. I didn't. No, not in the least bit. Actually, I was corset training. I don't know if you all know like those old school corsets where you like pull them and it's like sucks you in. I was doing corset training for like 2 years. I was going to the gym in my corset. I was going to class in my corset. I was eating in my corset or not eating because I was starving myself at one point in time too. And so I had like convinced myself that if I had this small waist that I would somehow be more attractive. I would somehow be more desirable. People would love me. People would want to be around me. And all that was doing was really fucking up my actual insides. I mean, like I was literally harming my body for this look, for this aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I was putting myself literally in danger.
Yeah.
And for what?
Yeah.
What was that gonna do? Because
Nothing,
maybe I was
because
gonna
the
look
people
a
that
certain
are
way.
attracted to you are attracted to you.
And if you're not, baby, that's yes, your loss.
Yes. So let me ask you something. I do just have one more question. Is because your energy is so
Infectious.
Yes. Have you always been infectious like this? So even when you were dealing with the body not being happy with where you were, you still had an infectious.
Yeah.
Because that's to me that's what
It's natural.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
draws
natural.
me
It's
to
just-
you
yeah.
is your energy. Like it's
Yeah.
so. I just want to hug you. Like
I've been
your energy.
speaking in full sentences since I was 8 months old.
Oh,
believe
wow.
Stop it, girl.
I didn't know what I was saying.
Okay, Kevin Hart. Not Kevin Hart. What's his
Cat
name? Cat Williams with your 3,000 books.
Yeah.
No.
A year.
I did not know what I was saying, obviously, but I was always one of those, like, I spent a lot of time with adults. My mother's a younger
Yeah,
mother.
you
She
did.
had me around between 18 and 19. She says 19, but the baby was 18. So I let her live. Tell her business, absolutely.
That means she's not.
My mother, hey,
I'm doing the math. She's
my mama's
leave her alone.
fine. Okay, that lady is gorgeous, and she lives her best life. She'll be 53 this year. She lives her best life. But she did. She had me at a young age, and so my mom was a hustler, grinded up. Like from birth, she made sure that she had what she needed, so I could have what I needed.
Yeah.
So she was in hair school at her very young age, taking me with her. So I spent a lot of time around a lot of adults my whole life. So I was always just absorbing the language, and no, I didn't know what I was saying, but I was talking. And I know when I was really young, I would go. My mom would take me to the grocery store, and I would try to talk to people. And if they didn't talk back, I would say, "Well, they don't know how to talk."
Right.
Because why you not speaking? So yeah, people have always been very naturally like attracted to me,
Because it's your energy.
and it's the light. It's
Yes,
very
it's a
much
light,
Yeah,
yes.
it's right there.
Yep.
I see
But
it.
people don't know
I
what to
love
do
it.
with. I've realized people can
Not
be attracted
everybody.
to a light,
Yeah.
but they might not know what to
Nope,
do.
not
with it. They
everybody.
may not know how to handle
Yeah.
it.
What you're not gonna do is dim the light.
Baby.
Or mishandle it.
Ooh,
Ew.
tell them. Y'all heard what the Thaunties said. Don't play with your girl Fairen Kia.
Don't play with us.
We don't play about
We're not
her.
playing about her.
Period.
So when we wrap up our show, we always like to do a listen to your Thauntie, where we give a nugget of advice. So I want to prompt your nugget of advice. And what advice do you have to the big girl who always wants to have sex with the lights off?
They knew what you looked like before the lights were off. They approached you in wherever, even if y'all was in the club, they seen you. If y'all was at Waffle House, they seen you, because sometimes you go to the Waffle House after the club. So, or at work, wherever you were, they seen you already with the lights on. And so what you have to do, though, is you have to practice self-love with the lights on and self-pleasure. And I actually do mean masturbating. And by masturbating, I mean taking care of yourself and your body.
With the lights on.
With the lights on. Take your little shower, rub yourself in oils while you're rubbing yourself. And even in the shower, talk about how much you love your body. I love my arms. I love my breast. I love my thighs. I love my belly. I love my back fat. Talk to your body, love your body. And then when it's time to pleasure your body, still do the same thing. While you are giving yourself that pleasure, while you're taking care of yourself, tell yourself how much you love yourself. Tell yourself that you deserve that pleasure. Tell yourself that you can pleasure yourself and learn how to pleasure yourself, so you'll know what it's like when someone else is trying to pleasure you.
And what you like.
And keep them lights on. They know what you look like, and you know what you look like.
Yeah.
And spend a lot of time in the mirror. That's very scary for a lot of people. And even the first time you start spending time in the mirror, I know me and you talk about it. Baby, we love that. But I did not always. There was a time in my life where I used to tape these like quotes and these Bible scriptures on my actual mirror. I had one of those half moon kind of like shaped mirrors, old school vanity style. And I would tape things all over the mirror so I could only see my face. Because I didn't like what my body looked like. And I was in high school at the time. And it was from high school to about sometime in college where I finally, where I just refused to look at the mirror. I refused to look at pictures because I didn't like what my body looked like. And so you have to stand in the mirror every single day. And I still do this to this day. Every day, I stand in the mirror and I tell myself something that I love about my physical body. And so sometimes it's my arms. I love my arms because they carry me. I love my because they carry the weight of things that I have to deal with. I love my legs because they carry me every day. I love my belly because it houses my organs and it's the core of my self-love. So I talk to myself and my body every day, especially on the days where I don't feel like it. And those are the days where it's the hardest to do because you don't want to.
Because you don't want to.
What do I love about my body? And that's what we talked about earlier, is that sometimes you have to say these things to yourself, even when you don't feel it, even when you don't believe it, because you have to change your brain chemistry. The beautiful thing about our brains is they love to answer questions. Our brains love to solve problems. And so sometimes you have to ask yourself, well, why do I love myself? And then your brain is going to give you reasons as to why you need to love yourself. Because your brain wants to answer a question. Humans are naturally inquisitive. We want to know more. We want to know the why or the how. We're taught that at a very young age. So because you are naturally inquisitive, you're naturally inquisitive about yourself too. And so sometimes it means sitting with yourself, talking to yourself, and spending a lot of time.
Yes, I love
and
it.
that's so hard for people who haven't done that a lot. You have a family, you have a spouse, you have everything. That alone time though, it's gonna hurt and it's gonna be scary.
Girl,
It is.
we just talked about this, and
It
it's
can
lonely.
be, but sometimes you start to like it. And you be like,
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been having a lot of alone time recently, and I'm like, ooh, I just don't want nobody to touch me. I don't want nobody to talk to me. You don't deserve me.
Yeah.
because I'm so special.
And you have to like force yourself, like, okay, just send the text. Like, just like you need to reach out to somebody. Like, you need to
Yes.
say something.
Yeah,
'Cause it-
building community is always going to be important. Humans humans, even though we sometimes can isolate and want to be alone, we are natural social creatures.
Yes.
So we have to find community.
Yeah.
We have to build community, and we have to be in community. But the alone time is also, it's important for your mental health, right? It's important for you to spend some time with yourself, but I always suggest people finding a community, and whatever that looks like and feels like for you. For me, my community is always going to be Black women. I always feel the most comfortable, the most confident, the most affirmed, and the most validated around Black women.
Yeah.
Because I identify as a Black woman.
Right,
So for
yeah.
me,
Right.
it makes me feel better. It makes me feel.
Me too.
I mean, I know you all talked about your group chat, but like, at the end of the day, yeah, y'all were saying those things to each other, but everybody knows that was from a place of love.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
we definitely have to be careful about the language we're using and how it can be harmful to people, but when you know your people and
Yeah.
you love your people,
Yeah.
you know what my people, I know what you're saying to me is from a place of love.
Yeah.
And so I can tell you, don't say that to me because I don't like that. You know, I can tell you how I feel, but you've created that community where you feel free and you feel okay enough to say, well, when you said that, don't talk to me like that. Or, you know, like that,
Yeah.
like whatever the
Yeah.
languages that you all are using,
Yeah.
you know that within your community, that's what matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. That was a great.
Yeah.
This is the Fairen Kia.
She's wise beyond her year. Now I see what you were saying. You're very wise beyond your years.
Thaunties, what y'all got? What's your?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the affirmations. I think that it's very important to tell yourself these things because a lot of times, like you said, we do internalize things that other people have told us, and that's become a part of us. So I think that the affirmations of telling yourself you're beautiful, or telling yourself you're worthy, or telling yourself that like she said, I attract love, I attract money, I attract happiness, I attract just positive thinking can really change who you are. And it'll change your environment because then the universe is hearing you and the universe starts sending you different confirmations and everything that you've been saying that you attract.
Words have power.
Yes, words
So
have
whatever,
power.
whatever you're saying and putting out,
Yes.
it's going to come back to you.
Yep.
So you have to be mindful of what it is that you're saying, what you're putting out, and what you're attracting.
What you got, Fox?
Well, I had another thing I was going to talk about, but I'm not going to say that today. What I'm going to say today is that everybody just be yourself. Because I think so many times we can accumulate a certain esteem. We can get a degree. We can get a position in our jobs. We can get into, a higher echelon of things or whatever you want to call it. And forget who we really are and not be so true to ourselves. And I think that it's very important for people just to be themselves and be okay with being yourself and being
Yes.
comfortable in who you are and being able to relax.
Yes.
Because a lot of times I feel like that some Black women, we don't have that freedom to just be ourselves outside of work and being mom
Yep.
or, being a certain person for everyone else.
Yeah.
We can't just be who we are. So just be who you are
Love
and
it.
relax in that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love that. Be relaxed.
And relax in it.
Be relaxed in it.
Yeah, relaxed
Yeah.
in it.
I like it
Because
too.
we can do all three, all four, or five, and still be ourselves.
Yes, yes.
And I'm
Yes.
still Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
still
and I'm
Mika
still
J.
and I'm
Ooh.
still Mika J.
Yeah.
I'm still Tiffany even when I'm Foxe.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Even when
Exactly.
I am
Yeah.
Tiffany E,
Yeah.
BSC, RN, RCIS.
Hey,
Yeah.
When I run them down. Yeah. Right. I'm still the
Still
same.
the same. We're
Yeah.
I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
So don't.
That's what
so
I
don't
love.
make
Like, I
it-
love that you all decided that you're gonna be the Thaunties.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because a lot of times, and I appreciate y'all for sharing that with me. A lot of times, people have in their heads like, when you reach a certain age or a certain level or a certain professional degree, you have to be a certain way.
That's what I'm
No.
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
No, you get
Yeah.
to be all of those things.
Yes.
You can be a mom who also likes to just throw it back on the cruise sometimes. Like, you
Yes.
get to do
Yes.
Yeah.
and be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Be
Exactly.
relaxed.
Be
who
relaxed
you
in
are.
it too. Yeah.
Who you are.
Yeah.
I think the relaxed is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just piggyback off yours and be relaxed. No, I'm sorry. Two things can exist at once, right? Like, yeah, I may hate my fupa, but I'm about to put on these shorts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm still gonna put this football on your face.
Oh, what you said? That's where it was going. That's where it's going. Thank you for that. Younger bun.
Young girl.
On the face.
Exactly what I meant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So if you haven't already, have you ever spoken at Nerd Night Louisville?
No, it's Nerd Night.
Nerd Night Louisville is great. So our
Yes.
sponsor, Farmer Vaughn, Kentucky and a Backyard Farm, he puts on Nerd Night Louisville the fourth Thursday of every month. And it's at a New Lou distillery, and you get 10 minutes. It's like a TED Talk. So if you're trying to, you want to do your public speaking, this is, I think, is a fantastic topic.
Yeah.
Anything you nerd out you can
Yes,
get up and speak.
I love
so
that.
Yeah.
I'll connect you with him. I think you would be fantastic, and we will come and be in the
Yes.
crowd.
Because I run my mouth, okay? I run it up.
Yeah.
I
So
love
what
that.
else can the Thauntie viewers? How can they follow Fairen Kia and be a fan?
Absolutely. You can follow me across all social media platforms at Love Thy Belly. That's LOVETHYBELLY. And on there you can also find my link tree where you can look for everything Love Thy Belly related. So that's everything we do, our events, my shows, my fashion line, everything. I have t-shirts, hats, crop tops. My favorite are my little cropped hoodies.
Okay, so your branding is amazing.
I love
Shout out to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
That you
you.
did yourself. You're
I
so
did
creative.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
I've done everything.
All sizes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And all sizes are the same price.
Boom.
Oh,
For an
amazing.
extra small
Yeah.
to a 2X,
Now that's dope.
5X, and I have some of my shirts are also a 5X. The price is the same for all of them. Because I'm not penalizing anybody just because somebody else has to use more fabric, and nobody
That's
should penalize.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It is
there's no
crazy.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You was gonna scrap the fabric anyway, so
There you go.
just make it
Exactly.
all the same price.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can find me across all social media platforms at Love That Belly, and my website's on there as well.
Go for
There's my
it.
book, and I do have a body positive queer variety show this Saturday
Oh.
at Big Bar, and so the queer variety show has everything. So we have singers, rappers, burlesque performers. Your girl might do a little something. You know.
Something to do
You know,
Saturday.
because I gotta step back out in the streets and let people know that I'm single.
She's out here.
Okay,
She's out here.
single and ready to have a good time.
She is. Yeah.
Ready to have a good time on a plane. All right, just so we're all clear.
Just so you know.
She likes to be
She has
flued out.
requirements. She don't like to date Louisville people in Louisville.
If I'm gonna date you from Louisville, we're gonna have to be dating in Barbados.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
She wasn't playing around either.
Oh, and there's also Love That Bell will be vending at an open mic on Friday night at Wild Horse Saloon. So we're gonna be out in the streets all weekend.
Very
so
cool.
make sure you follow us
Holla
across
at your
all social media
girl.
platforms and let's have fun together.
Love it.
Support.
I love
Shout out to
that.
other sponsor, Fox.
Rise and Shine Transportation, mobile services. Anytime you need a ride to an event, to work, to
Yes.
school, anywhere you need to go. Doctor's
Anywhere.
appointments.
You need the
call,
kids
Rise
picked
and-
up.
Oh,
Pick
yeah,
them
that's
up.
a good one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right with transportation
You
acting
can
up.
trust your kids with Shy East.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
He might give them a lecture, but they probably need
They'll be
it.
better people
They
than
bad.
me.
They need
Yeah.
it.
They need
They
it.
probably
Okay.
will get a couple speeches.
They will
Yeah,
get
all
they
right.
need it.
Yeah,
need
but
it.
they
You'll love that they did that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But shout out to all of our followers. Shout out to the people that send our cash outs, the subscribers, the
Yes.
likes and share our videos. We love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the Thaunties. We're coming up on show 50 very soon. We got something special coming out. So just hold up and see. But until then, see y'all
Bye.
next week. Woo woo.